Now that we have our asset, we want to add some functionality to it. So we're going to create a class blueprint. A class blueprint, you make them for multiple reasons. One could be that you're going to distribute something throughout the scene multiple times. So for example, a pickup. Another reason could be to put more than one bit of mesh together with sounds. So for example, you could put some wood and then a fire on top of that with the sound of a fire, and then every time the person walks near it, they'll be able to hear that. So what we're going to do is create a pickup. So I can right click and create a new blueprint, and generally we're always using actor. I'm going to call this one, let's call this one battery pickup BP. So as we start to get more and more assets, you might want to start dividing these in using new folders, put all your materials in one, putting all your textures in another. By double clicking in here, I can now see it, the viewport. The viewport is the visual, what I can see. The event graph is the programming side of things. But to start with, I'm going to put something in here. So I want to put in a battery, which is a static mesh, and I'll call that battery so I know what I'm referring to. The static mesh will give me all the static meshes I have available. So I will do the battery, and I can see it. Maybe I want to, and this is a really simple one, just click, I want to add a rotating movement. And that will actually now, if I go simulate, it will rotate. And by clicking on the rotating movement over here, it's going to adjust the rotation rate just there. So what I can do is I can slow it down or speed it up depending on what you want to do. I can in here as well just move it over like that. So then if I simulate it, okay, let's simulate that. Don't worry about that other one, that's just in the memory. So what I'm going to do now is add some functionality to this. So at the moment, the player's going to hit it and nothing's going to happen. It's going to press play. Oh, I haven't put any in, have I? So that's still the mesh. This is the blueprint, so I'm going to just put that up there. And there it is, rotating like that when I press play. Now, in blueprint, I'll try to do it over here so you can see. If I make any changes, so let's say I want to make it bigger, it's going to make that to all of my blueprints. So if you need to change something about it, the texture isn't quite right, then that's actually a really good way to do it. Otherwise you'd be going through and doing each one individually. So what I want is when I walk up to that, it's going to disappear and play a sound effect. We can add extra things later. So I need something around it to let the computer know when something's entered that. So I'm going to add a box collider, also known as a trigger box, also known as box collider hitbox. And what this is going to do is anytime something is inside of that, what it is going to do is it's going to send a signal, but it won't actually do anything yet. So I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to delete those. And I'm going to click on the box and I'm going to right click and say to add an event for the box. And it's a collision. Anytime a component, so anything overlaps with that, I want something to happen. So these executes, and what this will do is this will actually do something. So for example, I could print a string, which is just a simple text that you only see in development, and I could say inbox. I want it to, when someone walks into that box, for it to actually destroy the actor, so it'll destroy itself, so that then the player knows something has happened. And I also want it to play a sound, and we can do play sound at location, so it'll just happen there, or we can do play sound and it will generically happen. If it's a pickup, it really doesn't matter which one we do because we're at the location when it happens. So what I want to do is select a sound asset. Now at the moment there's nothing really in there except for the firing, so I'm going to go over here and click import. I'm going to select my sound, and here it is, and it creates it. Now you won't be able to hear that because it's not capturing system sound. So from here what I can do is I can use that sound as it is, or I can create a sound cue. In the sound cue, it's much the same as a material where I can add some extra features down here to make it louder if it's not quite loud enough, if I want it to loop, or have some sort of effect on it. For now, I'm just going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to say that when we're pick that up, it's going to play the sound and compile that. And so now when I go over here and I walk over towards it, it disappears and it plays the sound. Nothing happens with that one. So you can see how we can start to add functionality. So I can put a blueprint there, just there, just there, and I can start to walk around the space, and I've actually got a bit of a game happening. So as we progress in our understanding of mechanics and blueprinting, you'll be able to start to do things such as adding a feature where it will add to a health bar or a progress bar, and as well as that, you'll be able to make sure that you can access every area. So that's pretty much it for now. Hopefully that helps.